All right, guys, it's good to be back. We apologize for the low camera quality.
We lost our video crew from last week.
Yeah, apparently it's only important whenever the video man himself is.
Shout out to Austin Keith.
We don't even have Brody or anybody.
Yeah.
But we have Liz, and that's all that matters. She's our guest today.
Liz Ruby.
Before we introduce her, Kurt, what do we have coming up very soon?
Camp meeting next week, right?
Arkansas.
Is that correct?
Yes.
International camp meeting,
Right.
June.
Very, very big deal. I normally don't drink zero sugar ginger ale, but that's all that's left in the fridge right now.
Shout out to Erica Markser.
If we could get a little reload, that'd be great. This week's episode is brought to you by
Merino Customs.
I was able to meet Mr. Marino himself.
Does he watch? Do you know if he watches or listens? Or
I'm not sure, but we'll send it to him.
Send it to him.
Hopefully he's a listener. But we're really excited about it.
Don't you have a discount code that you can?
Yeah.
What is it?
I can't remember, but it was used 7 times the other day.
Okay,
Probably
put it on
Colton.
Put it on the screen.
Right here. It's my promo code.
And use his promo code to order. Let's see if we can get up to 20 for this week.
Yeah,
20 orders.
Sounds good.
Also visit us at
theconvokc.com.
Yeah, for merch.
Anything else they should check out, Liz, before we get started?
Like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. It's new. You'll be able to watch this there on Friday.
That's right.
Y'all, can we start over? I just made a terrible face.
No, it's fine.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we want that on there.
Welcome
Y'all
to
want that
we
on
want that. Welcome to the Convo with Kurt and Colton, where we talk about music, life, and reality.
I'm Kurt.
And I'm Colton.
And this is the Convo. All right, we're back. With us in the studio today, without further ado,
Liz Ruby, can you tell us who you are and what you do here at the church?
Well, actually, I'm about to change to Liz Davis.
Ooh.
Okay. So, only 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
And is that because you're getting married, or?
I'm getting married.
Okay, we
You're
just
just
want.
not just having a random name change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, Davis is pretty easy. So
Yeah. Are you going
can't
to change
get
your
that
name
wrong.
right away?
Yes.
Okay, because Jochebed just changed her passport like last week.
Well, she had like cold feet, like hesitation.
Yeah,
like,
she just wanted to make sure she wasn't going to get.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm definitely changing the name.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Very nice. So what do you do here day to day at FPC?
So I work under Pastor Nathan Holmes. I'm one of his assistants alongside Austin. And so I basically do whatever I'm told.
Okay.
But I'll do like graphics or office work or just general errands.
Someone commented and said, just to be clear, you're the assistant to the pastor, not the assistant pastor. Is that right?
I'm the assistant to the pastor.
So is Austin the assistant pastor, or is he also assistant to the pastor?
Oh, he's the assistant pastor.
Would you tell us a story about Ask Linda?
Oh, you know what? He doesn't let me forget that. So this is what happened.
Okay.
So actually, Austin was hired, and we were thinking he was going to replace me. So I was looking at the prospect of moving to Missouri.
Okay.
And I had maybe like 2 weeks. And so I remember that night talking to Pastor in Austin. Austin was hired immediately. And so I'm trying to close out all of my projects and also try to show him how to do things. And so it's like just trying to cram all of that in for 2 weeks. And so he's like, well, how do you do this? I'm like, oh, you could look at this tutorial on lynda.com and that can explain it to you fully. And which I don't, the voices on lynda.com, or at least on the design tutorials, are very monotone. And so it'll put you to sleep fast.
Yeah.
So, and I would be like, or you could Google it. At the time, he hated Google. Like, he just didn't like to Google anything.
Yeah.
He couldn't type or anything like that, So he hated Google. But I will say this. He loves Google now.
Yeah.
Can he type?
He still has issues, but now it's not kind of like,
Yeah.
he's gotten
He's
better
up to
at
like
it.
3 or 4 fingers at a time now.
Pretty much, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, no,
That's
so
funny.
it's good. But I do feel better now because when Brody Blakely came on recently, Austin told me a few weeks ago, he's like, you know what, Liz? He's like, I totally get the lynda.com thing now. He's like, because Brody, he's like wanting to learn all these things too, and I don't have time to sit down and show him. So I'm trying to refer him to other things.
Like lynda.com.
Yeah.
So
you do graphic design.
yes.
So do you do most of the sermon graphics? What are you doing when you're doing design?
So which Austin mentioned last week that Pastor is a graphic designer.
Yeah.
So he does all of his sermon graphics, and I'll do visiting ministers or Austin,
Yeah.
and so we'll get their sermon info.
And you do the bulletin, right, every week? Is that correct?
Yes, printed bulletins.
And you help out with, like, if someone's getting married. And when we just got out of graduation, you did a lot of those stuff, right?
You know what? This year, thankfully, I've turned a lot of that over to the school. So
okay.
I gave Calvary Academy the templates and everything, and they built them themselves this year.
Wow.
Okay.
So it's wonderful.
So
Getting smart.
in your graphic work, what kind of softwares do you use?
We use the Adobe Creative Suite. It's basically like the industry standard. So we have Photoshop for graphics and photo manipulation. For the bulletin or anything printed, I will use InDesign. And we sometimes use Illustrator, but it's mostly Photoshop with InDesign.
Okay.
And you could actually, if you're a student, I really recommend this. If you're a student, you could get it for like only $20, all of their programs,
$20
a month.
a month. Though.
Yeah.
If you are a student and you're not interested in that, you can give us your student card and we can get
We
it
can
for
use
$20 a month.
Yeah, we would use it.
Yeah. Shout out Adobe. What, in your opinion, what is the best place for a newer media team to get guidance and knowledge?
I think if you would go to the community, like now it's all online.
Yeah.
Back when I first started out, we didn't have that.
Internet thing.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I remember AOL and all that stuff. Okay, so.
Me too.
But like you could go to Facebook. There's like Facebook groups. My favorite one is like the official ProPresenter Facebook group, which is really cool because just like some random tech guy started it, and it grew so much that it's now sponsored by Renewed Vision, who's the owners of ProPresenter.
Oh, shout out to that man.
So you mentioned
Yes.
ProPresenter. So what is ProPresenter for those that don't know?
It's a media software. Well, actually, now it's all in one. It started out as media, but now they'll do like streaming and media presentation. So really anything you need now.
LIB.
So
What are some accounts that you would recommend to follow?
Social media accounts.
Social media accounts.
okay, so I feel bad because Austin mentioned this already, but Joe Cavazos,
Yes.
he's like really amazing.
We should tag him and let him know he's got a.
JoeCavazos.
We should let him know he
Yes.
got shout out 2 weeks in a row.
That's right.
Definitely. And he did, he helped us. We did a collab with him like maybe 10 years ago for some artwork, and it's just amazing.
Wow.
But he's, like one of the things too is like he's been around for like at least a decade,
Yeah.
and he's still popping out new techniques that we're following and learning from him, like from YouTube tutorials or Instagram and everything. We also like the life of AVAX. She's really amazing. She started designing in like 2017, and like she can create just about anything, like art, and she'll teach you too on her YouTube channel also. So that's pretty cool. So those are my top two right there.
I recognize a D&G Creative. I follow them already.
Yes. Oh, I love him. And then Sunday Social is a good one, and Pro Church Media. And the neat thing with Pro Church Media is they've got like a little community. Again, there's like a Facebook group, but they also sell Photoshop and design classes online. So you could take like this Photoshop class with like 20 people, or After Effects for motions.
Yeah.
And you can learn this program in like 6 weeks. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Do you think if you're not creative, you could learn how to do this stuff? Like, would there be hope for me and Kurt?
Oh, definitely. I mean, look at me, okay?
That's a great point.
Yes. Yes. So it's really kind of neat because when I first started out, I've been working for Pastor for like 16 years.
Wow.
I know,
Really?
I'm old.
Oh, boy.
So when I first started working for Pastor, I didn't know what design was or anything.
How did you get this job?
Brother Chris Blakely.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yes. So this is kind of what happened, and I won't make it too long because I know I have less than...
How much time do we
Yeah.
Not much.
right.
Less than
Not
20
much.
minutes.
Okay. So I got hired on at a credit union here in town, and one of the things, it's a small credit union, and one of the things that they gave me to do was create flyers for the small branch and everything. And so they gave us Microsoft Publisher, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's like, I
I
mean,
remember that.
It's like
Yes.
Microsoft Paint.
pretty much, right? And so I was like, I'd have something in my head and I couldn't make it because it was Publisher. And so I went to Walmart and I bought like some cheap $50 box of software and took it to work and installed it and started making stuff off of that. And they're like, hey, how'd you do that? Well, I just bought this cheap box of software. And so they reimbursed me for it. And I know. And I kept the discs when I left. So
God.
Hopefully they're not watching.
yeah. And but so I started making stuff for the credit union with that. And one day, Brother Chris was working on a project, and I had to work that day, so I came in before work, and then I came in after work to help, and after the event was over. And so during that time, that night, he came up to me. He's like, hey, we've got a summit committee meeting on whatever night. He's like, you should come and join us. I'm like, okay. Had no clue what all that was about or anything. And I sat there, too, that night. I went and I sat there, and I'm just like, I have no clue what I'm doing here. You know, I'm just Liz, you know?
Yeah.
Do you still feel that way?
A lot. Very much so. The next day, or when I got home, I was like, what if we did something like this? So I made a flyer with that software and sent it to Brother Chris. And so I didn't know that Brother Chris's brother was a graphic designer, and I didn't know Pastor was a graphic designer.
Oh, yeah.
And so he's like, I didn't know you could do this stuff. I'm like, do what? He's like, design. I'm like, well, I mean, I don't know. I just did it. And so he took me to Pastor and showed him what I was working on for him. And he kind of cornered Pastor. And this is, y'all know, this is the only thing that Brother Chris Blakely, he's the only one who could have done this. But he took that flyer or whatever and cornered Pastor, stuck in his face, and said, you all be paying her to do this.
Wow.
Yeah. And so Pastor, he looked at it. He's like, so you did this? I was like, yes, sir. He's like, and then he called me a week or so later offering a job.
Wow.
So,
Here you are 16 years later.
16 years later.
That's pretty impressive.
So I was, unfortunately, he has not been able to get rid of me.
Hey, that's all right. So, describe how COVID changed the church's outlook on the importance of media.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we closed down, of course, everyone was told 2 weeks. That was a very long 2 weeks.
Yeah. Flatten the curve.
Yeah.
Remember that.
And so we were supposed to be closed down for 2 weeks. And for us, I know it's different everywhere, but for us, it wound up being 7 weeks that our church doors were closed. And so communication was really a big deal. And people wanted to see and communicate. Like, they wanted to feel a part, even though they're stuck at home.
Yeah.
And so that's really what opened a lot of people up to live streaming and more media, like Instagram posts and Facebook,
Facebook.
and everything. And then eventually YouTube
Yeah.
was from being stuck at home and not being able to gather with your church members.
Yeah. Basically, Pastor said it like he described that the devil thought we were going to shut the doors of the church, but really what happened was they transferred everyone's home into another church. So it was even got more powerful there.
And so it was neat seeing people send pictures of the altar calls during live stream, and their kids are crying and praying and receiving the Holy Ghost. And then, like another thing about the devil, yes, you know, we were thinking, hey, we're going to have this I Am Easter drama with 20,000 people, right?
Yeah.
And then the doors shut. What happened to those 20,000 people?
Turned into million.
Yes. So it was definitely for the good.
Do you still drink a smoothie every day?
Yes, actually, and they know me.
Which one, tropical or
Tropical.
They know you?
Yes, they do know me.
Do they give you discounts?
No, but you know, you get a free smoothie after you buy every.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So 16 years ago, I was 12, and I think, like my whole life, I think of you as like having like the biggest cup you can imagine.
Yes.
With a smoothie. And like that's like probably my earliest memory of you.
Yeah.
Is it green?
Because I remember being like, wow, those things are like $6, and she's got one
But
twice
see,
a
it's
day.
kind of like think about
That's a
people who
problem.
go to Starbucks. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I was
like my
thinking
coffee.
That's a problem as well.
Yeah.
No, there's something new now. These teas that are like $10.
Bubble tea?
No, like just a nutrition tea.
Oh, yeah,
oh,
like
yeah,
all
yeah.
the
$10.
colored tea.
Yeah.
I tried one of those, but I'm still a smoothie person.
Yeah, you better
so.
stick to the smoothies. You're saving money on that.
Yes.
So listen, I travel around once in a while and speak to bands and speak to whatever. And I always tell them that, hey, when we do rehearsal, our tech team rehearses with us, our pro people. And they're like, what? Why do they do that? So explain the importance of.
Okay, so I feel like you guys know the material, know the songs, right?
Right.
And I feel like if you're on media, you should know the songs too. You should know like how it's going and everything. And actually, it's kind of funny because y'all, one time when I was preparing for a service, I had no clue y'all were in the other room. And y'all know I can't sing, okay? And Kurt doesn't let me inquire. I've offered a couple of times.
You want to
He
sing
said
on this
no.
podcast?
No, I'll be okay. But so I was working on preparing for it and listening to the music and everything, and I was kind of singing along too. No clue y'all were on the other side of the door. So y'all came in, pastor and everything. He's like, well, we heard you singing. And he's like, and you didn't hit a single note. So, yes. But he said, we would have come in and told you. So, but it sounded like you were getting a blessing too.
Ouch.
So, but you really do. You need to be familiar with it.
Absolutely. So we rehearse in our pre-service run through. We rehearse with the lyrics as it is.
Yes.
Which because our singers couldn't sing it through anyways.
Without the lyrics, they don't know the words.
Well, and it's wonderful too because now and this is one thing great that's happened since COVID is like prior, you know, we had the different platform coordinators and you've got, you know, just different people telling us where the song's going. And you got, in which our church is large, so, you know, you're way back there and trying to figure out if they're,
what side was that?
Yeah.
What section is number 5? What does that even mean?
Yeah, and so it's kind of like, it's confusing sometimes. Well, with COVID, and this is a wonderful thing, you started to direct where we were going with the music. So we'll listen to you, we'll listen to Kurt, and we'll hear him say chorus or verse 2 or whatever, or bridge. And so we know where you guys are going without having a strain and second guess.
That's a blessing, yeah. So how many volunteers do you have in your department, your side of the tech, every Sunday?
Yeah,
So-
Austin claims he has all of them under him.
Yeah.
So for media, we have 2 people each service. We have one person who does front of house lyrics and another person who does video streaming lyrics. So Sister Lisa, she's our main one for front of house.
Shout out to Sister Lisa Smith,
Yes.
Callie's mom, and Laura.
Oh, she's wonderful. Everyone needs a Lisa Smith on their team, for sure. So we normally have 2, and I'm kind of like a support in there. Like I'm sending graphics and different things.
Shopping on eBay.
Where do you get like? So I noticed you'll change up like the
No, actually, there's a story there that
Okay,
happened
no, we don't
to
have
me.
time.
Okay, you know,
We don't have
because that happened to me at Peak.
Okay.
They could see the monitors, and I didn't know
Yeah.
that. No one told me they messed up the monitors, the people setting up, and so it's like I'm clicking on my email and nothing's popping up. I'm like, where is it going? And thankfully it was Bible studies. Okay, it's like Daily Grace Bible Studies, and finally one of the other tech people tapped me. They're like, Liz, you're showing the ministers what you're looking
wow.
at. So yeah, that did happen to me.
Wow. So I've noticed you change up the graphics a lot behind the words on the screen. Where do you get all those graphics from?
Okay, so we actually have several subscriptions to different websites. So if you had to go with one, I would go with CMG or Church Motion Graphics because they have motions, they have stills. If you have a triple wide, they have it for that. But they also have templates. If you want, you have Photoshop templates that you can use, social media templates, and everything. They normally will have, if you wait till Black Friday, they'll have a good sale on.
November. Is that November?
November, yeah.
Okay. So listen, Pastor will be like, hey, put up Acts 2:38. And we wait.
And we wait.
Or
And
like,
then we wait.
And then we wait some more. Is there a reason that you guys can't just put up a scripture?
so, all right, so it's kind of like it depends sometimes.
Okay.
Yes. So, in ProPresenter, you can move on the fly. So sometimes it may be like a user, or maybe maybe it's frozen or something. But most of the time, you could get something up within 10 seconds.
Put up the 100.
Whenever.
Put up 100, yes. So,
Or when those
well, I'll
evangelists-
tell you what happened. And I did explain this to someone today. I said, we were in our graduation the other day. And so all of the stuff was set. Everything was lined up for graduation. For our main service, we have the 100 right there where you could just
Put up
click
the
it.
100.
Yes. So because we were in the graduation set and everything, they were having to look for the 100, pull it up somewhere else.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like when the evangelist is like, can y'all show those pictures I sent? And then we wait.
You know what? I wasn't in here for that, but I got the text message.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Yes, I was in the chapel because Pastor was having a surprise birthday party, and so we had everything lined up. And so me and Austin were in the chapel during this part, and then I get a text message like, show the pictures. I'm thinking, what pictures? I'm like, what's going on? So it's like I told Austin, I was like, hey, something's going on in there.
Yeah, we were
and so
there.
we both rushed back in the sanctuary.
Y'all must have been running slow.
Have you seen me run? I can't.
Really?
Listen, so I travel. I mentioned I travel. I go to these churches and there'll be like a song and they'll have every word of the chorus on one slide.
Oh,
Why?
yes.
Can you
they
give us?
fill it up.
Yeah. So give us like typically what's your workflow for a song?
Okay, so normally we keep it at 2 lines per slide for each.
What's funny is remember the other day I was like, hey, can you play the slides? And she was like, oh, slides? Do we call it slides anymore?
So this is where I got mixed
I think you
up.
owe me an apology.
I did. Remember, I
Public
texted.
apology.
So this is what I thought you were saying. Like they called their person, like they run slides or they do slides or whatever. So we normally call our team like the ProPresenter
Okay.
or media.
Yeah.
Yes, but the actual little item is a slide.
Yeah. So I was right.
So yes,
Yeah,
we were
okay.
both kind of right.
No,
You were more right.
I was more right.
Yeah,
You
I was
were
just
actually wrong.
confused.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
yes.
exactly.
But so this is the deal: is when you have that whole thing
Yeah.
stacked up like that, So this is what the media person's job is to do: is to help enhance worship.
Right.
And if you're a first-time visitor, you probably don't know the song, right? So those words,
Or if you're a praise
help
singer.
you. Or if you're a praise, yes. So, but those words,
Man,
they'll
take it
help
easy
you.
on the praise singers. There's a lot of stress up there.
Yeah, it really is for
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
So
Them.
shout out to no, I'm sorry. Shout out to the praise singers
Yeah.
then. But the deal of it is if you're a visitor, you don't know the song.
Right.
And those words help you to be able to join in
And
with
connect,
worship.
right, what's going on, right.
But if you've got like 10 lines up there, then it's overwhelming.
Right.
And then you get lost in there.
Absolutely.
And so instead of enhancing worship, it detracts from it.
Right. So with our theme, everything we're doing is to try to make worship easier as we build towards the climax of the preaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that person, their heart can be softened, and then the preaching happens, and boom, they join the church. Right? That's
Right.
the plan? All right.
Yes.
So that's the natural progression
Yeah.
that we hope to get. All right, so let's talk about some design resources. We mentioned it a little bit. How much time do we have, Kurt? 5 minutes?
5 minutes. Okay.
So real quick, let's see if we can get through some of these. We already mentioned the Adobe Creative Suite, and if you're a student, it's only like
$20 a month, right?
Yes.
And then we talked about ProPresenter.
Mm-hmm.
And then we mentioned briefly the motions, so CMG. Is there anything else that you recommend?
So if you, depending on what your budget is, so CMG, first pick. There's also Story Loop, which is more motions, and it's more modern and hipster-ish. And they have different sizes, like they have widescreen and everything. So if you got like a standard monitor or projector, or if you've got like this wide screen, either way will work. There's ignitermedia.com, so it's a collection of artists who contribute, and there's also Shift Worship. And the neat thing with Shift Worship is, like, you can, on your phone, like if you have a still or a picture and you want to add motion to it, you can upload it to their app and create it into a motion.
That's cool.
And then, too, like there's another app you can use, Motion Leap, that does the same thing. So I've used both of them. Of course, you know, we have Austin, too, who's a wonderful at creating videos and motions with Final Cut Pro. But if you're needing something quick and on the fly, those two apps will work.
Very nice. What about like stock imagery?
So free stuff,
Yeah.
unsplash.com.
Unsplash.
Wonderful, yes. Now, they were recently bought out by iStock Photo.
So probably
So-
they're going to change to, it won't be free anymore.
Yeah, I figure in a few years they're going to start charging for that. So Unsplash, first pick, and if you're trying to pay for something, iStock Photo or Shutterstock, or you could go to creativemarket.com, which is pictures, graphics, fonts, just like a whole collection of things, or templates.
What are your typical hours at the church?
Random. Like, I'm about as random as you are, maybe more so. I
Yeah,
don't
you're
know.
way more random than me.
Yes. Like, sometimes I'll be leaving here late at night and see Kurt's car up here.
So what time do you have to be here in the morning?
Random.
Well, pastor's on vacation, so
You know, actually, but I come to work when Pastor's on vacation.
Yeah. Oh,
who does
don't
it?
say anything
I'm
else.
not,
Don't say
I'm
anything.
not, but I do come to work.
All right. I do as well.
Yes.
I do as
High
well.
five, Coach.
yeah, good job, y'all. Congrats.
So listen, favorite coffee drink?
You know what? Let's go to a smoothie because I'm more into smoothies.
Okay. Favorite
So,
smoothie drink?
Lean Machine, which is strawberry and banana.
That's pretty basic.
Yeah. Well, if I do coffee, it's like that. What do you call it? Mugs.
What is your go-to restaurant of choice? So if somebody's here for camp meeting, what's one restaurant besides Bennett's that everybody needs to go to?
Oh man, but they have to go to Bennett's.
They will.
Yeah, they will. That's
Okay. All right. They'll go to Bennett's. Okay then. Oh well, I don't know. Probably McDonald's or something.
Wow.
perfect.
No. Avoid McDonald's.
Will you be at Peak?
Yes.
What will you be doing?
Well, I'll be helping with media.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
can people come up and say, be nice? Like, are you nice?
Oh yeah, I love to talk. Don't y'all know that?
Would you help answer people's questions if they had them?
Yeah.
All right, Liz. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank y'all.
Hopefully that if you guys have any more questions, they can reach you on Instagram where?
Lizard. Oh wait. I'm about to change. So
What will it
currently
be?
it's Lizard Ruby.
Yeah.
And then in a couple of weeks, so far, Mrs. Lizard Davis is available. But y'all don't steal that, okay?
Yeah, someone's going to steal it now.
Y'all
You
don't
should get
steal
it.
All right, we're almost out of time. Thank you guys so much for listening in this week.
Join us next week. We got a special guest. Can't say it yet, but it's going to be a good one.
That's right. So keep an eye out. Check it out. Check this. If you're listening on the podcast app, check this out on YouTube. Leave a review. Subscribe.
5 stars
all the
only.
Good stuff.
See you at camp meeting. Come say hi at camp meeting. We have a table, actually. Erica told me.
ConvoKC.com. Check it out.
Y'all buy them out.